Let's go to Drew in San Diego. What's up, Drew?
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
Good, pal.
Hey, so I was listening to Brian Ellis' show yesterday. And
His name's Jason.
The really awkward conversation between you and
True.
Brian.
His name's Jason Ellis. It's not Brian Ellis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm been working all night.
No, dude, don't worry about it.
So I'm just curious. How come you guys aren't moving to that 7 o'clock spot? I understand you got the guests coming in, but you guys couldn't schedule those guests any other way?
No, well, here's the thing. So yesterday, it's amazing what happens here. This is what I was talking about like just people just deciding, like a guy, and I guess that's serious. Like, we don't have ratings, so nobody's that concerned if people are listening to the show or not, so you can do whatever you want. Like, they just like, okay, if you can go get an audience, here's a contract. Can we put your name on a brochure? You're good to go. Like, can we just say that you're here? That's the business model. In regular radio, there's a ratings book, and you go, oh, an advertiser can look at a rating and go, like, there's a number on that. I'm going to pay this much to advertise on that show. But in satellite radio, it's just, here's a list of the shit that we have. We have so much shit. Don't you want to subscribe to this? And generally people are like, fuck yeah, I want to subscribe to that. That's tons of shit available to me. And that is the business model of satellite radio. And I don't mind it. I think it's a good business model. There's a ton of shit here. You can have it if you subscribe. Sounds good. Oh, also there's commercial-free music. So, but I don't know. People go nuts. People just go crazy. And I feel like it's not dissimilar from what happened with Covino and Rich last week. People go nuts, and then they got to call me about it on their shows. So yesterday, I get a text from Jason Ellis after the show, and I like Jason. And he goes, hey, man, can we call you? And I go, of course. And so they call me up on Jason's show, and I didn't know this was happening. Because believe it or not, I spend not some of my day, not a lot of my day, all of my day worrying about me. Like, that's where my time goes. It's into me. People go like, oh, how did you end up getting the morning show? Because I think about me all the time. That's what I think about. Not what's going on over here or over there. What's going on right here as I point to my crotch. So, apparently Jason wants to move up an hour, which I understand completely. He wants to move up, so he's airing at 10 a.m. on the East Coast here, which is 7 a.m. on the West Coast. Then you have a nice little setup where you've got Jim and Sam 7 to 10 on the East, Jason Ellis 7 to 10 on the West. Totally understand why Jason Ellis would want to do that. But there's a difference between wanting to do something and it working out. So we had a conversation recently about moving. And by the way, this has so little to do with Opie. This is not maybe on Jason's side, but I'm telling you on our side, the conversation about what time Jim and Sam go on has very little to do with what, like, there's no sort of like, yeah, well, we're going to fire Opie soon. And you guys know that. And we know that. And we've been planning it all along. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you ready for a 1 hour best of before your show. Realistically, do you think that conversation happened? Or do you think Don walked in here the day after Opie got fired and said, hey, we're going to put you guys on for an hour at 7 pre-taped? Oh, great, Don, thanks. Realistically, logically, which way do you think it went? I'm not going to tell you which way it happened. I won't.
Ooh, it's like choose your own adventure.
It's choose your own adventure. You choose, because in your heads, I want this to work out however it works out. I'm not going to tell you which way it happened. But Jim and I had talked about at some point moving to 7. And they could do whatever with Opie's replay, or once Opie wasn't here, it was like, well, we should definitely move to 7 because there's nothing else. It's just replays now. So we have this conversation and we go, Jim and I are talking, and we decide that, look, our problem is that most of our best guests come in during the 10 o'clock hour. For instance, today, both Judd Apatow and Ben Mesrick are in that 10 o'clock hour. And again, The fact that I have to pull back the goddamn curtain every 2 weeks on this show is driving me insane. That you can't just trust a person to be like, he knows how to run a radio show. I have to keep pulling back the curtain because nobody understands how this works.
I thought it's because you didn't want to wake up.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I wake up early enough anyway. What time do I get here? I get here at like 10 after 7. You're talking about getting here 10 minutes earlier, right? I'm here at 7. So the reason that we need to go to 11 is because most of the guests get here at Sirius XM between 10 a.m. and noon. It's the way it works because in New York, you've got the Today Show and Good Morning America and Live with whoever the fuck is doing that show anymore. And all those morning shows, Good Day New York, whatever. And so the guests tend to go on publicity tours. When they come on this show, they're generally coming on to promote something. When they're coming on to promote something, they generally want to promote something on multiple shows. So in order to do that, they have to schedule it as such, and they end up coming in this building right around 10 o'clock, right? So in order to get the people that are big enough to do those TV shows, we have to be on from 10 to 11. Otherwise, we'll be here, pre-taping interviews, and I don't think that you guys want to listen to a morning show that airs a bunch of pre-tapes every morning. Makes no sense. So I go, so Jason calls me and he goes, hey man, on the air, why don't you guys, do you and Jim want to move to 7 to 10 so that I can move up? Or he goes, and I go, well, we're not going to. And he goes, why? Like, he said something to the effect of, like, don't you want to go for the glory? As if, there's more people listening in the 7 o'clock hour. Why don't you want to move up? You're just too lazy? And I was like, no. First of all, we already had the 7 o'clock hour, which I guess Jason didn't know and didn't seem to sit terribly well with him. But again, I don't know anything about the Jason Ellis business. All I know is the Sam Roberts business. So I go, yeah, we already have the 7 o'clock hour. We air, like, for instance, yesterday we went long with Rob Corddry, right? The show cut off.
25 minutes.
Right. The show cut off so that Jason could come on time. No problem. It's not a complaint. Now we have the 7 o'clock hour so we can air the full Rob Corddry interview, and the stuff that you didn't hear can be aired over there. No problem. Jim and Sam content is on at 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we're live at 8. Then we go till 11 and make sure we get all the guests. It's a perfect scenario, except Jason wants to move an hour earlier. Fine. I had this kind of vibe about me. Like, I don't know. Same reason why I didn't understand why Covino and Rich were calling me, asking me to mention them more on the show.
You called them.
No, I did not call them. They called me.
That's what they said, though.
I know they said that, but I think I clarified that as well on the air, that they called me because they said I didn't acknowledge them enough on the air. Well, here's a Covino and Rich acknowledgement. They're also on the channel. Also, Nick DiPaolo's on the channel. I don't want him getting upset. But when Jason's like talking to me like he's waiting for me to say something here that's going to make him feel better. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't program anything here. Like, I don't program the channel. And he ended up getting upset about it. I think JJ Abrams is coming in, so I'll have to get back into this.
He's early.
All right.
Which is good.
Yeah. I'll get back into this. Troy, you might have to turn on that recorder. Yep. Don't worry, folks. I'll finish my my diatribe because I see.
Looks like you're getting lazy and not finishing.
Yeah, exactly. I see the phones are all lit up. What, JJ coming in at 8:40? What happened to 10 o'clock, Sam? You're right. You got me. It's all bullshit.
Go for the glory.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing. Going for the glory a little bit more. Yeah, come on in. JJ, welcome.
Should I shake your hand?
Yeah, of course. Shake my hand. How's it going, man?
How are you?
Good. How are you feeling? Is this
Could not feel better.
Is that right? Are you on West Coast time? Is this specifically
Where am I sitting?
early? Right there.